Right now, on the hottest afternoon of the year, you're doing at least two things to your air conditioner that the company who services it is quietly hoping you never stop. Not because they help you, because every one of them runs your bill up, wears the system down, and eventually puts you on the phone booking the exact service call they've been waiting on all summer. I'm Ray Dutton. I'm a retired HVAC pro, 25 years in attics, crawl spaces, and side yards, for the same companies I'm about to tell you about. Last time, I showed you 5 things they don't want you to touch. This list is sneakier. These are 5 mistakes they're glad you make. You do the damage for free on your own time, and they bill you for the aftermath. 2 of them you're doing this very second, and I saved the biggest for last because it's the one that costs $8,000 to $12,000, and they'll smile the whole way there. Start with the one you probably made the moment you walked in the door. Number 1, cranking the thermostat way down to cool the house faster. It's the most human thing in the world. You walk in, the place is an oven, and you shove the dial down to 60 like you're flooring a gas pedal, figuring the lower you set it, the harder it works. Here's what nobody tells you. Your air conditioner has exactly one speed. It cools at the same steady rate whether you set it to 74 or 60. Setting it lower doesn't cool faster, it cools longer. And now the machine is running flat out for hours, chasing a number your house was never going to reach on the hottest day of the year. Every time you get impatient and start nudging that dial up and down, you make it worse. Because the hardest moment in the life of an air conditioner is the startup. The motor pulls a jolt of current, 5-6 times its normal draw, every single time it kicks on. Do that over and over, chasing a temperature, and you're cooking the most expensive parts of the machine for nothing. So here's the fix, and it costs you nothing. Pick a number you can actually live with, somewhere in the mid-70s for most folks when you're home, and leave it there. Let the machine find its rhythm. And if you're still warm, a ceiling fan spinning the right direction makes you feel 3-4 degrees cooler for about a penny an hour. Because it's cooling you, not the whole house. That's mistake 1. If you just caught yourself, good. Here's the other one you're doing right now. Number 2, closing the vents in the rooms you don't use. This one feels like pure common sense. Nobody's in the guest room, so why cool it, right? Shut the louvers, shove the cold air where the people are, save a few bucks. Except that's not what happens. Your duct system isn't a bunch of independent pipes. It's one balanced loop, engineered so the blower pushes a set amount of air and gets a set amount back. When you close a vent and you don't redirect that air, you build a wall. The air's got nowhere to go, so the pressure backs up in the ductwork, and now your blower motor is straining against something it was never built to push on. That pressure hunts down the weak seams in your ducts and blows your cooled air straight into the attic. It can starve the airflow across your indoor coil so badly the thing freezes into a solid block of ice and shuts you down completely. You didn't save a dime. You strained the motor, iced the coil, and leaked more cooled air through cracked seams than that closed louver ever held back. So leave them open, all of them. Real zoning, cooling one part of the house and not another, is a genuine thing. But it takes motorized dampers built into the ductwork and a control system to run them. It is not something you do by flicking a lever with your thumb. Open the vents and let the system breathe the way it was designed to. Stop right there. 2 mistakes in, and you can already see the shape of this thing. Look at what they share. They cost you nothing to start. They both feel smart. And that's the entire trick of this list. Last time I showed you cheap little parts they bill like surgery. This is quieter and honestly a little worse, because these are mistakes they're happy to watch you make. You do the damage yourself for free on your own time, and they wait by the phone for the breakdown to arrive. Watch how it holds for the last 3. The dollar figures only climb from here, and the last one clears $10,000. Number 3. Trying to save money by shading your outdoor unit. This is the one where I've got to be straight with you, even though it costs me a little, because that's how we do things in this garage. You'll find this advice everywhere, on home improvement blogs. A version of it even sits on a government energy site. all of them promising that if you throw some shade over that outdoor unit, you'll knock 10% off your cooling bill. It sounds airtight. Keep the box out of the sun, it runs cooler, you save money. Here's what the people who actually measured it found. A solar research lab down in Florida, a research institute overseas. They put it to the test, and the unit itself barely notices the shade. And there's a good reason for that. That machine is inhaling tens of thousands of cubic feet of outside air every hour, blowing your home's heat into it. A shadow on the sheet metal doesn't cool that air one bit, and the air is the whole game. The real savings from shade come from shading your house, your west-facing windows, the walls that bake all afternoon, not the metal box in the side yard. And here's the part that turns this from harmless to harmful. The way most people go to shade that unit, they crowd it with a shrub, they build a little enclosure, they throw a cover over the top, and that does the one thing that genuinely wrecks it, which is choke off the airflow it lives on. Smother that unit, and you'll cost yourself far more than any shade ever saved. So if your HVAC guy nods along with the 10% thing, don't hold it against him. He read the same blog you did. Just know the honest version. Shade the house, not the box. And give that unit a good 2 feet of clear air on every side to breathe. Number 4. Paying to have your refrigerant topped off summer after summer. This is where the real money starts, so listen close. There's a myth baked deep into how people think about their air conditioner, that the refrigerant inside is like fuel, something that burns off, gets used up, needs refilling now and then. It is not. That refrigerant runs in a sealed loop, welded shut at the factory, and it's designed to never lose a single drop for the entire life of the machine. So when a technician tells you you're running a little low and offers to charge it back up for the season, I need you to sit with that for a second. If it's low, it is leaking. There is no other way for it to leave a sealed system. And topping it off without finding that leak isn't a repair. It's rent. You're paying rent on a leak they didn't fix, and the bill comes due again next summer, and the summer after that. Here's the arithmetic. That refrigerant cost the pro somewhere around $10 or $20 a pound at the supply house. On your invoice it reads $40, $70, even $90 a pound, and the whole recharge runs you $100 to $400. Not 1 cent of it went toward fixing why it was low in the first place. I'm going to be honest with you the same way I was about the shade, because this is the one item on today's whole list where I can't hand you a Saturday fix. Refrigerant is licensed work. You need a federal certification just to legally buy the stuff, and there are real pressures and real hazards in handling it. This is a call a professional, full stop. Anybody online selling you a do-it-yourself refrigerant trick is handing you a fine and a danger, not a bargain. But here's what you can do, and it's everything. When they say low, you say, show me the leak. Make them run a proper leak test and fix the source. Make them charge the system by weight on a scale, not by feel and a gauge and a guess. That one sentence turns a recharge you pay every year into a repair you pay once. Number 5, and here's the big one I promised, the mistake that costs more than the other 4 put together: buying too much air conditioner. When the day finally comes to replace the unit, everybody's gut says the same thing, and plenty of quotes will happily agree. Go bigger. Get the larger unit. Cool the house faster. Don't get caught short. It is exactly backwards. And it's the cruelest trick on this list, because a machine that's too big is worse than one sized right, and it costs you more coming and going. Here's why. An oversized air conditioner cools the air so fast that it slams off before it ever does the other half of its job, pulling the humidity out. Wringing the water out of your air takes 10-15 minutes of steady running. An oversized unit is done in 5. So it satisfies the thermostat, shuts down, and leaves all that moisture behind. Now your house is cold and clammy at the same time, which feels awful. So what do? You walk over and drop the thermostat, chasing comfort, right back into mistake number 1. Now you're paying more to be less comfortable on a bigger machine that short cycles itself into an early grave. The fix is a single sheet of paper. It's called a load calculation, a manual J in the trade, and it sizes the equipment to your actual house, your windows, your insulation, your shade. Instead of some lazy rule of thumb off the square footage, any contractor worth hiring will run one. And here's where the pressure comes in. Because this is a 5-figure decision, $8,000 to $12,000. And that is exactly the moment the urgency tactics come out. The cracked heat exchanger they'll try to red tag off a photo on a phone. The old R22 refrigerant, the one they'll swear is illegal now, so the whole system's got to go today. So here's the truth on both. A cracked heat exchanger is a real thing and a genuine danger, but you make them prove it. A camera sent down into the unit and a combustion test, not a stock photo and a grim face. And that old refrigerant is not illegal to run or to service. They stopped making new supply of it, that's all. Your system is perfectly legal to keep running and to refill. Nobody on earth can force you to replace a working machine under a countdown clock. Slow the whole thing down. Get the load calculation. Get 2 or 3 separate bids. And the single most expensive mistake on this list simply never happens to you. So there's your 5. And notice something. This time, I didn't send you for a single screwdriver. Set a temperature you can live with and leave it alone. Open your vents, every one of them. Shade your house, not the box, and give the unit room to breathe. When they say you're low on refrigerant, make them find the leak and charge it by weight. And when it's finally time to buy, make them size it to your house. And never, ever sign under a countdown clock. Every one of those costs you nothing, and every one of them saves you from the call they're sitting there waiting for. One last thing before you go. None of this is hidden because it's complicated. It's hidden because a company doesn't make a dime when you run your system right. There's no service truck rolling out for the fellow who left his thermostat alone and opened up his vents. Not every company works this way. There are good, honest techs out there, plenty of them. But the way the pay is built, it rewards the breakdown, not the prevention. And that's the part nobody's going to say out loud on a sales call. Well, now it's been said. So do something for me. Down in the comments, tell me what you keep your thermostat set to in the summer and how old your unit is, because I read every one and the right number changes depending on where in the country you live. Tell me and I'll give it to you straight if you're running yours too hard. And hit subscribe if this just saved you from a mistake you didn't even know you were making. Because next time, we're walking into the one aisle where they get you every single month. The filter aisle. I'm going to show you why the expensive filter with the biggest number on the box is the wrong one for most houses, and how it quietly does to your airflow the exact same thing as closing a vent. I'm Ray Dutton. Keep your cool, and I'll see you in the next one.